So we're back, and no freezing in this video, hopefully. I bumped the table just a little bit too hard in that last one, but, you know, crap happens, as they say. And this game I'm playing against a 2300 Lee Chess rated player. I have white this time. First game in a while. I think we had like 4 games with black in a row or something. And this particular game is, we'll say, when a Queen's Gambit goes really, really, really wrong. And we had to have the reallys, because you'll understand.
On the black end?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to do the Queen's Gambit right, take a look at the aggressive Queen's Gambit decline. Only on Chessable. So it's C4. And this is a problem with this particular move order. People who love the Nimzo Indian and Queen's Indian will do this against the English. And I'm often asked questions like, well, why do you play the English? Because of this right here. If somebody's just trying to limp into a Nimzo Indian, say, you're already toast. I could help you and go D4, and then we could agree to play a Nimzo Indian. But once I play E4, you need to know exactly what to do here with black, or you're getting rolled off the board in the next 15 moves. Very, very critical line. That's why, in my book, if you want to play the Queen's Gambit against the English, you need to play E6 on move 1, and pretty much no matter what white does on move 2, you follow up with D5, including E4, which we also cover. So, for instance, knight f3, and you're getting back to your typical Queen's Gambit. Now, after E4, it's a question of what's good here. And D5 is natural, and C5 is natural. Everything else is white pretty much has anywhere between a small edge to you might as well resign. That much.
Okay.
And my opponent plays bishop e7, which is one of those you might as well resign moves. Now let's go ahead and start it off, Matt. What move would you play with white here?
Well, I mean, stuck out was E5. Just gain a tempo, force the knight to move around.
And if you didn't get this one, I was going to have to smack you because you've been playing the Sicilian long enough that when you know you give up that E5 square, you get mauled because your pieces just suffer.
Yeah.
Uncoordination issues. So E5, knight's got to go back home, and you are already a move behind when you're playing black. Now you're multiple, as I have the full center. So my opponent logically starts fighting for the center. And what do you think? What are some candidate moves for white?
Well, I can note that we're transposed into a bad French for black.
An absolutely atrocious French, because that G8 knight doesn't have a good square. You are right.
I guess I can go all in and just play queen to G4.
Okay, that's one candidate move.
F4 also all in, and knight F3 is a simple move.
Okay. Well, F4 is not like all in.
Okay.
It's aggressive.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Okay.
I want to grip it. Okay. Grip it. So we get that full control, and like my note is, white now has an extra move and complete control over the center. Now, how should it be converted? Well, he plays d takes c4, and not a big fan of this move because it's encouraging. Just develop
one move
to a good square. And then he goes bishop b4, and then I started questioning if you hid the rating and you didn't know that my opponent was 2300, this feels like 1400 level game by black at this point. Mm-hmm. Or lower. I mean, no disrespect to 1400 rated players whatsoever, but this is starting to get in the realm of, really? And this shows you, and it's not disparaging my opponent by any means, this is a point of how badly someone will play when things just go a little bit wrong. And I think this is mostly psychology of competition, not necessarily the position on the board, because mistakes typically come in threes. And we're seeing another one here with moving the same piece again. I would have rather seen a move like c5, because maybe you can trade some. If you can get the queens off the board, black's probably okay. So you got to focus on something like that. But this second move of a minor piece, Mm-hmm. So knight f3, just
quality control is better.
Well, Well, he goes knight e7, and I can understand his point. He moved the bishop to get the knight out. But if you're going to do that, probably knight h6 straight away, because there's no bishop takes h6. Would have been much better than wasting another tempo with the b. Castle, castle. Now what would you do with white?
I mean, maintaining development with... there's no good square for the dark square bishop. And...
Okay,
who's the worst piece here? Okay, I do want to bring my bishop out to get the rook in, but I played a lot of the Trompowsky with similar variations or positions, and the bishop is never really on c4. I kind of feel like pulling back, and it feels like a wrong move, though, to line up against the king.
Okay.
So bishop d3.
That's one candidate.
c2 and like follow with knight g5. I don't want to play a3, I don't think, because you're pretty much encouraging black to take.
Yeah.
Knight e4 is interesting. Kind of avoid the trade altogether and get more pieces around the opponent's king. I guess those are my three. Queen c2.
Yeah, I could appreciate knight e4 as well. And honestly, this is the type of position where I asked. We have a lot of extra time here.
Okay.
And with extra time, you can typically attack. We're safe, we should be attacking. This is a game where you can put your opponent away quite quickly if they're not paying attention. I played bishop d3 with the logic that there's not a knight on f6. And in this position, if it was white's move, bishop takes h7 wins by force.
Right.
So you have to know these tactical themes. And to me, it's not because I'm strong at tactics anymore, because I haven't studied tactics in years. It's understanding certain themes that stick out. No knight on f6, no bishop to kill a knight that's going to g5. I know if it's white to move here, that's going to be devastating. So my opponent plays c5. And now we get to have the fun.
Yep, sack it.
Thematic sacrifice. King
Check
takes. Logical. And now he went with the better of the two options, but suffering is the route that my opponent has chosen.
Usually queen g4 is played for discover attack ideas.
Yep. He goes f5.
I guess we captured. Would make sense.
EP.
So we can maintain this discover check. Other knight check. Just keep bringing pressure. Okay, I'm playing the game so far. Yay. Knight. I mean, here I would stop and calculate for a little bit because everything just seemed kind of natural.
Okay, so give me three moves again.
Knight takes pawn check. Pawn push check, opening up our rook more for another attacker and bishop. Two attackers, actually.
Okay.
And trying to look at black's escape squares. We're down a piece, so we gotta move quick. Check, check. I think it's just knight takes pawn check. It seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, well, why not? Okay, so king f7.
And queen check on g7. Let's give up the knight. Never mind.
Okay, I was thinking king takes e6. Are you seeing deep?
I didn't see that one.
I don't see it.
Oops.
So just go ahead and take with check.
Oh, it takes the check. Yeah. Duh.
And now knight g5. And I like this next move because it's kind of like the idea you were looking at earlier. f5. Unleashing the bishop, keeping an eye on things, and controlling key squares for the subsequent move. Now knight e4, queen h5, f6, breaking
the only wall.
the remaining defense. f7, check, check, and mate.
Who needs another queen?
Right. So
that hurts too to miscalculate when you know you have a winning attack.
Right, so it's like what I'll find is a lot of times I'll be playing games and I'll have a position like this with black, and my opponent will not find the crushing continuation. I survive somehow a piece down, but they don't have enough time and end up losing the game. And that's normally when you get the nasty comments. So turn off the chat box if you have a problem with that. Now, you have to remember when you have an attack, there's two different types of attacks. There's attacks like this that play themselves, and then there's attacks that require calculation. If it requires hardcore calculation, it's probably not a good idea to play it in a blitz game. This was a 3-minute game. But this one, I knew it was thematic, so I didn't have to think too much about the moves. So I was very comfortable with playing it. Mm-hmm. And then on the black side, if you run into a tactic like this, the only measure, and especially in blitz, is to try to play fast and try to hold on to as much material as possible to complicate the game, to give your opponent chances to go wrong so you can get back in. So that'll do it for this quick game.
Mm-hmm.